As the great hymn that Johnny Cash sung towards the end of his life. He was repentant, weren't you, Johnny? And you gave great joy to everyone that heard you singing. Yourself and your lovely wife, Joan Carter Cash, at concerts. Everyone enjoyed them. And you visited this country, Johnny, on many occasions. And we enjoyed your singing. And there's 40 Shades of Green that you wrote in praise of the country that you loved. Your family come from this country. And you had a great graw for it in Irish for love. So may us all rest in peace and the light of heaven shine upon us. Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Were you there when they nailed him to the cross? Were you there when they nailed him to the cross? Sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they nailed him to the cross? Were you there when they took him down from the cross? Were you there when they took him down from the cross? Sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they took him down from the cross? Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Were you there when the stone was rolled away? Were you there when the stone was rolled away? Sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when the stone was rolled away? Well, you weren't. The soldiers was there, weren't they? And when that big stone blocking the tomb was moved away by the angels from heaven on Easter Sunday, they went as white as sheets and ran like jackrabbits. And Caiaphas, when they saw him, he says, "Where are you going? Go back to your mom. No, go back and mind that tomb. That's what we're paying you for." "Oh no, we're not going back to mind that tomb." The big stone was moved away from the tomb where Jesus was by the angels in heaven. Oh, so no, we're not going. You go back over that, Caiaphas and your cronies. Oh, well, no. He declined, didn't he? And he says to them, "We must reward you for your trouble." The 30 pieces of silver. But we know all about it, don't we? Can't hide the truth. And Mary Magdalene and a few ladies were going to anoint Jesus in the tomb, a custom of the Jewish people. And at that time, and Mary went into the tomb and came out crying. She says, "He's not there. His clothes is there, but he's not there. Where have they taken him?" The women started crying as well. "Yeah, where have they taken him? We go and bring him back." There was a man there looked like a gardener, but it was Jesus. He says to Mary. She looked around us, smile creased her face. "Mary, go and tell the apostles what you've seen." "I certainly will," says Mary. "And we'll go too," says the ladies. Smiling now they were. Oh, stop the crying. Jesus. He mends the broken hearted, doesn't he? And then there was two disciples on the road to Emmaus, 6 miles, little village, 6 miles away from Jerusalem. And they was as sad as you like. Their faces nearly down to the floor with sadness. And a stranger joined him and he says, "What's wrong with you? Did you see a ghost or something?" "No, we saw no ghost," says they. "Are you the only one that doesn't know what happened?" "What happened?" says the stranger. "Our Saviour Jesus was crucified. Our Redeemer, the way, the truth, and the life. We don't know what to do." Oh, the stranger walked along the road to them and quoted the scriptures and all that kind of thing, which they weren't familiar with. And their hearts lifted. And they're sort of nearly smiling. They were in good humour, listening to the stranger. They felt like whistling, but they didn't whistle. They'd say now and again, "Is that so?" And it was getting dark after the journey, and which they didn't find going at all. And the stranger was about to go on and said, "Hold on there, about that. It's getting late. Don't be walking round the dark. Come and join us. Have a bite to eat, stay the night, and continue your journey in the morning." "All right," says Jesus. "All right, go with you." So off they went and having a bite to eat, but at the breaking of the bread, they recognised Jesus. You know, the Last Supper. When he, "This is my body," the bread. And he disappeared. And they looked at one another as happy as Larry. "What do you make of that, Jesus?" "Well, it's all the way. We didn't recognise him until we broke them." "Oh, fantastic. Well, we're going to have to go and tell the apostles the good news. Third and all as we are. Don't feel third at all, do you?" Jack and Joe, we call him. Jack says to Joe, "No, off we will go and we'll tell the apostles." And this, they went off on this moonlight night, singing and whistling, and singing perhaps, "Are you right there, Moriarty? Are you right?" No, it wasn't them type of, it was their own sort of ones. It wasn't two Irish men walking. It was two Jewish disciples. And they said, "We'll have to rattle on that door good," and because they're afraid of the Jews in case they'll maul them. So they rattled on that door when they got to Jerusalem and shouted that it was them, Jack and Joe. So the apostles opened the door and went up and told them the good news, what they had experienced. Did the apostles believe? I'm afraid not. And when Jesus appeared to the apostles in the upper room and showed them the wounds inflicted on his hands and feet, he says, "I sent you two messengers. Why didn't you believe them?" "We're sorry, sister," says they. "Peter and John went to the tomb and saw that you weren't there. Your clothes was there, but John realised that you had risen, but we didn't know what to do to see you, Jesus. Forgive us. Forgive us." Thomas wasn't there. And then when the apostle told him the good news about Jesus appearing, he wouldn't believe. Well, they rattled Thomas and nearly shook him. He says, "You're a dude new, Thomas, whatever it's sucking from. You should be believing us." And Jesus appeared. Thomas was there 8 days later and it appeared and said to Thomas, "Put your hands here," pointing to his wounds. And Thomas did what our Saviour asked him to do and fell to his knees, saying, "My Lord and my God," ashamed of his unbelief. And Jesus looked at him. "You believe, Thomas, because you've seen." Kindly, he looked at him going, "Blessed are those that haven't seen and yet believe." And that's Catholics down the centuries to the present day to believe and shed a tear. And the Orthodox and other Christians believe that too. So there we are. Isn't that a lovely little story? I have to change it every second day. So bye now, and I'll be doing the daily reflections just after this.